The US will be adding more Bitcoin to the reserve. And this is huge. I'll explain exactly how they're going to do this. But first, let's hear from Trump really quick because this sets it up.
The Treasury and Commerce Departments will also explore new pathways to accumulate additional Bitcoin holdings for the reserve, provided it's done at no cost to the taxpayers. We don't want any cost.
So that's the only caveat, right? It can't cost the taxpayers money. So how are they going to do this? Well, Jimmy Song, big Bitcoin bull, been around for a very long time. He says ways to be revenue neutral, which is important, which is what they said, and buy Bitcoin. They can sell federal land, sell unused federal buildings, claw back billions that were sent to political cronies, sell the gold from Fort Knox, privatize or sell the post surface Amtrak, TVA, etc., lease mineral rights on federal land, and the Doge savings, right? Imagine if Elon with Doge is saving billions of dollars and that money goes into Bitcoin. There's a lot of ways to do this. So here, Michael Saylor says, I have a few budget neutral strategies for acquiring additional Bitcoin. He's responding to David Sachs. Here, Michael Saylor shared this today at the White House, and what he said is he wants the U.S. to acquire 5 to 25% of the Bitcoin network. Now, I'll include the links to this below if you want to check it out, but this is Michael Saylor's proposal for the U.S., why it makes sense for the U.S. to add Bitcoin, to get more Bitcoin, and how that will basically save the U.S. So next, from the White House itself, Bitcoin is often referred to as digital gold. So now it's official. The White House is saying that Bitcoin is referred to as digital gold. That whole narrative of, oh, it's not actually digital gold or whatever, that's done. It's digital gold. And the market cap of Bitcoin right now is $1.7 trillion, right? $1.7 trillion. The market cap of gold is around $17 trillion. So a 10x or so. A 10x just to meet what gold's market cap is. So 10x the price of Bitcoin, guys. There you go. That's a nice price. And also from the White House, they say the United States will not sell Bitcoin, and they will look again for strategies for acquiring additional Bitcoin. They made it incredibly clear. So anybody that's saying, no, the US is not going to get more Bitcoin is just wrong. The US will be adding Bitcoin, and now there's an arms race. Essentially, the US is first. Well, actually, El Salvador is first, right? But the US now has the largest stockpile of Bitcoin that will not be sold out of any other country, right? Now there is an arms race where other countries will be like, shoot, I better get on this because Bitcoin's going to go up in value. Any intelligent person understands why Bitcoin will continue to go up in value, especially knowing that currencies, fiat currencies, get more and more debased and how Bitcoin is fixed. So here, Mr. Clean, Brian Armstrong says, I expect many of the G20 countries to follow regarding the USA in establishing the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And that's what I'm talking about. So other countries will follow. That is guaranteed. That is guaranteed. And here, the Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says, creating the Texas Bitcoin Reserve is a bold step for other states to follow. He says, I promise to make a Texas Bitcoin Reserve a priority to solidify Texas's leadership in the digital age. So more and more states will be following what the U.S. did. And then more and more countries will follow what the United States did. And that's just what's going to happen. So the price of Bitcoin being $85,000, I honestly have never cared less about the price being lower than I'd like it to be. Because there is extremely bullish news, the most bullish news you can have about the future of Bitcoin. And the price is 85. To me, that is just entirely noise. The market being down 2.5%, entirely noise, right? Some coins are up, most coins are down. Who cares? We know the direction that this country is going, at least for the next 4 years, right? At least for the next 4 years, we know the direction this country is going. So heading on over to BTCC, where if you want to trade and buy Bitcoin, spot or leverage, whatever you want to do, you can do so and grab some huge bonuses to do so, or any of the other altcoins you would like to trade. Nonetheless, here we have Bitcoin, and we haven't really gotten back into that zone between 92 and 102, also known as the high volatility or high manipulation zone that we've seen over the last couple months. We are still well below that, and it's just astonishing to me that the price of Bitcoin is so low considering what we just heard and what we know will be happening. So we're seeing a lot of the Bitcoin mining companies up a lot. We have Bitfarms, CleanSpark, TeraWulf, Mara, Riot. They are all up over the last 24 hours. Bitfarms being up 10%. Nvidia went up 1.92%. It's down after hours. We can see just a lot of volatility here. So that's the main thing that I'm thinking about why the price of Bitcoin is what it is. It's because of just the global volatility, the macro volatility. But M2 is going up. I shared that in a previous video. M2 money supply is going up. Liquidity will be injected. Rates will come down. There could be some more short-term pain before we see this massive injection of liquidity. But nonetheless, there is just a lot of volatility in the stock market and a lot of the indexes like VTI, VOO, the S&P, SPY, etc. Tesla is still struggling quite a bit. And that is, in my opinion, why Bitcoin is not at all-time highs right now. It's because of the global macro situation currently. And this is also spooking investors as well. The yield on the 10-year Japan government bond hits 1.515%, the highest since June of 2009. A lot of people are correlating this high yield with the recession that happened in 2009. So ultimately, that's what's happening. We have the most bullish setup for Bitcoin and honestly altcoins too. I mean, Brian Armstrong sitting right next to the president or like a few seats over today at the conference, that is incredibly bullish. I mean, Brian Armstrong is into altcoins and he is close to the president. Also, the Winklevoss twins were there as well at the summit. A lot of altcoin people were there. So we have an incredibly bullish scenario for Bitcoin and altcoins, but the price is being either manipulated artificially or there's just global macro pressures coming at the crypto market because it's still technically a risky asset, right? So that's it for the video, guys. Hope you are doing well. Till next time, talk with you soon and bye for now.